Happy New Year, guys, or not Happy New Year yet, but Happy New Year anyway. One of the things that have been a game changer for me in this last year is that I started last year or this year. Sorry, I started this year by making a vision board, and everything that I did put on that vision board actually ended up panning out this year, and I am so excited. And then, as I was researching for the next year, I came across the idea of making a prayer board instead, and I think that just falls in alignment with what I do and with how I live my life. So that the prayer board is what I'm making for 2024. I'm going to be taking you through. You'll see a video later of me doing that. But I thought about when I did my vision board for this year, I was very intentional about it. I prayed about it. I put everything that was on the vision board was things that things that were prayed over. They were prayer items, and I went back to the Lord and talked to Him about them during the course of the year. And it's just interesting to see how things have unfolded this year. So I think I actually made a prayer board without knowing what it was called, and I am excited to make a new one for next year. One of the things that I really did, and I had really intended to do during the year, which I also did, was journal. And oh my gosh, what a blessing, what a blessing, what a blessing that has been, to just be able to pour out my thoughts, to process that way, because that's how I process. So there are a few things that I had some journal prompts, the things I wanted to write. But then because I was journaling every week, sometimes twice a week, sometimes thrice a week, it just depended on how I was feeling. But I made sure that at least I put in one journal a week. I journaled once a week. So I ended up looking for journal prompts from here, there, everywhere. The internet is such a great resource. And I ended up... so I was reading through, I was looking at my journals because I'm cleaning up my apartment, cleaning up my room, everywhere, to just usher the new year in a clean place, So I was reading through some of the journals that I wrote this year, and I have a few that I'd like to share with you. They're very vulnerable, they're very raw, but I would like to share them with you because I think in my vulnerability, in my sharing my journey, this will help someone figure out something that they're trying to figure out, or see that journaling it doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to look a certain way. You can do it your very own way, and that's completely fine. So I'm going to be reading actually out loud 2 or 3 of my journal posts from this year. I don't know why I keep saying last year, from this year. And I hope that you find encouragement. I hope that you find inspiration if you're looking to journal in the new year. All right? Okay, so watch out for the next post that I'm going to be posting. It's going to be those posts. Okay, all right. So let's get on with it. Happy New Year. Good morning and Happy New Year. As promised, I am going to be reading out the journals, the 3 journals that I promised you. But first, I'd like to share with you the themes and the themes I have been journaling about this year. So these are the categories that I was journaling through the year of 2023: love and relationships, work and career, self-reflection, uncomfortable emotions, living your best life, personal growth and life goals, and then check-in prompts. And as you can see here, I was very ambitious. I said journal 1 category a day. That I didn't do that, but I did once a week at least, and sometimes twice or thrice a week. So the idea here is to take it at your own pace. So I'm going to be reading a journal from Love and Relationships. I'm going to be reading one from Uncomfortable Emotions and one from Personal Growth and Life Goals, or maybe Living Your Best Life. It's one of these categories. I'm not sure. Uh, but yeah, so let's get started. So here we go. So, under Love and Relationships, this is a journal that I entered on the 9th of October 2023. So, what does love mean to you? How do you recognize it in a relationship? And this is what I wrote. Perfect love for me is what is described in 1 Corinthians 4, 13, 4 to 8. It's not only limited to one party, but to all parties involved. So this means that I expect patience and kindness. I do not envy. I refrain from boasting. I curb my pride. I honor others. I serve others. I control my anger. I do not keep a record of wrongs. I delight in the truth. I protect, always trust, always hope, and always persevere. That my love never fails, and that others do the same. This is unconditional love. It is perfect love, and no one in their own might can extend such love but God. Therefore, love for me is realizing that I and others often fall short of extending this unconditional love to not only others but to myself and themselves. In this realization, love for me then becomes more about grace and forgiveness than a feeling. It is accepting that just as I fall short in extending unconditional love to myself and others, that others too, like me, struggle with the same, and loving them and receiving love from them then becomes forgiving them and myself for when they or I are impatient with me or myself or themselves. Forgiving them and myself when I or they are unkind with me, myself, or themselves. Forgiving them and myself when they or I get envious of me or them. Forgiving them or myself when they or I dishonor me or themselves. Forgiving them or myself when I or they are self-seeking and selfish. Forgiving them, myself, when I or they keep a record of wrongs. Forgiving them or myself when they or I delight in evil, and celebrating them and myself when I or they rejoice with the truth. Forgiving them and myself when they or I fail to always protect me, them, myself, or themselves. Forgiving them or myself when they or I fail to always trust me, them, myself, or themselves. Forgiving them or myself when they or I fail to always have hope in me, them, myself, or themselves. Forgiving them or myself when they or I fail to persevere and give up on me, them, myself, or themselves. Forgiving them or myself when their love or my love fails. I recognize love in a relationship when all parties involved do their best to extend grace to me and themselves when they or I fall short of the perfect love. Love is grace. So that is a journal from the Love and Relationships theme. Yeah. So now let's move on to the Uncomfortable Emotions. This is a journal that was written on the 12th of November 2023, and it says, so the question is, the prompt is, what parts of daily life cause stress, frustration, or sadness? What can you do to change those experiences? During our Doing life alone without a partner causes stress, frustration, and sadness. This is especially true when difficult situations arise. I find myself sad and frustrated that I have no physical partner to help me figure out the situation out. Parenting alone is tough. I am always on duty. I have to be. No breaks, no rest. This reality plays a big role in how I go about my daily life. I am not sure what I can do to change this experience, as I think I've done all that I can do to change it. I try to remain positive and use my village to help me sort out the situation, but the real desire to be with a mate is not changed. So I guess that I'm in a catch-22 situation. However, I continue to trust and pray that the God who says in Isaiah 34:16 that none shall lack her mate is working behind the scenes to bring me to mine. So I continue standing on this promise, knowing that He is faithful to keep His word. So that's an uncomfortable situation. Now, under personal growth and life goals, or living your best life. This is a letter that I wrote to myself when I was just about to have my surgery. If you watched my video on YouTube, you can see that. You see me writing something when the doctor comes in. But this is the letter I was writing. Dear Shiro, today we begin a new chapter. We begin living the life we have dreamed and designed for ourselves in conjunction with our Father. Today we walk into health. We walk into the perfect life that God has planned for us since the beginning of time. I am so proud of you, Shiro, proud of the things you have achieved, the adversities you have overcome, the woman you are and are becoming. I'm proud that you were able to make this decision for yourself. This is a reset button for you to reinvent yourself, for you to design and live the life you want for yourself, for you to reintroduce yourself to the world on your own terms. This is your second lease at life, and I'm excited for you. Today, we take back the reins of our life. Today, we start living our best life. We set new intentions and follow up with an action plan. We are healthy. We are wealthy. We are free. Free from the bondage of fear and neglect. Free from emotional eating. Free from unconscious living. Free from rejection. Free from vicious and destructive cycles. Free from toxicity. We are free. Free to be the highest version of ourselves. Fly, baby girl, fly. So I hope you find encouragement in these journal prompts that I've shared with you, and that you get inspired to write your own journals this year in 2024. Yeah, and if you'd like to, hear more of my journals, let me know. I will be sharing journal prompts that I write on my Instagram. So if you'd like to do that, with me, come on Instagram and follow me there, and and we can do this together. All right, Happy New Year, and thank you for taking your time to watch this video.